This video projector is big, but it's bright and it has great sound. Honestly, it will change movie night forever. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm looking at another video projection system. This one's really nice. This is the TOPTRO X9 outdoor movie projector, and right off the bat I'm going to tell you it's 1500 lumens, so it's one of the brightest units I've looked at in a while. Why does that matter? Because the brighter it is, the more ambient light you can have in your room while you're using it. So this isn't ready to compete with direct sunshine, but if you can get things just a little dark, it's going to do a pretty good job. And if you want to have a really, really big image, then you can just bring the lights down and have a real theatrical movie experience. It's pretty sweet. Even better, it features two 18-watt Dolby audio speakers, and they're both on the sides and in the back. You can see in these close-ups, I'll just sort of walk you around the device here, but it has a really well thought out speaker system, and when it's running, the fan is never louder than 30 decibels, so it's never super annoying. Some devices, they have so much circuitry and so much of their design is involved in keeping the bulb or the projection system cool that you end up hearing that and having to have the audio compete with the fan. This does not have that problem. So let's go back to that tour and I'll show you. On the top there are 4 buttons that are volume down, volume up, Bluetooth speaker, and power. And then on the back there are 4 ports, 2 HDMI, 1 USB-A, and 1 3.5 millimeter audio. So you can hook up headphones or earbuds or external speakers that way if you don't want to mess with Bluetooth. It comes with a lens cap. This is a really uninteresting element, except I think it's a really smart idea because you always want this to be as clean as possible. So having something to protect it is just a good idea. In fact, they ship with a cleaning cloth and they even have like little cleaning Q-tips. So they really want you to make sure that you keep this as pristine as possible, which is obviously a good thing. So some more specs. You can use it from 3.8 feet to 18.9 feet from your projecting surface. Now, if you have this 18 feet away from your projecting surface, it's going to be an enormous picture. But it's going to need to be fairly dark because the further away you are, the bigger the picture is, but the less bright any individual point is. So the more you want to use it in a light room, and this is true of every video projection system, the more you want to have a lot of illumination around it, like in a conference room, the more you want to have this pretty close to the projecting surface. So it just works better that way. Back to Bluetooth. So it's a 2-way Bluetooth 5.2, though I'm sure 99% of people are going to use that for Bluetooth out to send audio to a speaker or to some sort of maybe sound bar or something. And speaking of which, it does support ARC with the HDMI, so that's nice. That will give you a more sophisticated interaction and really a better experience. What else can I tell you? It is HD native, so it's 1920 by 1080. That's what it's projecting. That's a pretty high resolution image. It can accept a 4K image. In fact, it tells whatever services it's using that it is a 4K device, but it's not actually projecting 4K. That is incredibly normal with video projection systems, that they can accept a higher signal than they actually can project. The benefit is that you just get a cleaner signal. So it includes Smart TV OS, so it has its own operating system. We'll get there in just a second. In fact, I have a really extensive demo that I think you're going to really be intrigued by. But let me just give you a couple more facts about this. So it has, and I love all this stuff, autofocus, auto-keystone, auto-obstacle avoidance. You basically just set it up, point it more or less at the surface you want to project to, turn it on, and it'll just do everything. It'll autofocus. Keystoning is when it might look like this, and it will actually square the image by compensating. So if you're projecting at an angle instead of straight on, no problem. It can handle that. Not only that, but if we look on the bottom, there's a little foot that you can adjust by screwing it in or out, and that makes it super easy to work with. You can put this on a shelf, and let's see, that's pretty much how you use it. And I found it to be really, really easy to work with, and I had it at a pretty oblique angle in terms of what I was projecting to for the demo. But instead of me talking about it, let's just do this demo. First, it's going to autofocus, and it actually also did keystoning and everything right there. So now let's get on with the setup. So that's how I'm going to do it. It's going to be in English. And let's see, I am in, what region am I in? Well, I'll pick Chicago for a region. And you can read that if you want to pause, but I'm going to just go ahead and accept all this. And we're going to enable Wi-Fi network, and I'm going to jump on my Wi-Fi network and be right back. And we're connected, and sure, let's set up Netflix. Obviously, that is an important part of this whole adventure. And I'm expecting it will give me a QR code and let me log in. I'll give you a couple of seconds to see the intro screen. Then I'll be right back. So we more or less have things set up now, which was super easy, but let's go to the home button and let's see what else this can do. So this is its own smart TV operating system, and you can see all of the major choices along the top, and you can see I'm in the middle of Squid Games and the Eternaut. And so a lot of this is Netflix based, but let's go up here and you can see the different inputs, but I want to go to settings. Let's go to settings and see what options we have. So this is setup, and I can go into time setup or screensaver, USB auto upgrade, internet update check. That sounds like a good thing to do. Let's just see if there's any sort of firmware update. And by the fact that nothing's happening, I'm going to assume that we're good. So picture mode, play the video, then we can go and look at different formats, but you can see here that there's different color modes and such. We'll just do standard because that's presumably standard. And audio, projection, and keystone. So there's a bunch of stuff here, but it's not particularly overwhelming, which is nice. So let's go back here and let's go to YouTube. And again, I'm expecting I'll probably have to sign in. But you can hear the audio is terrific. It's nice and super loud. So looks like we're in on YouTube, and it's signed up under my account, which is great because that means all of my preferences and everything are here. And let's actually have a quick look
first
here.
Steps. Galactus asked too high a price.
And
what does he want?
What did he ask?
I don't really have the rights to share that with you, unfortunately. But Fantastic Four is looking pretty good as a movie, I gotta say. So we got Netflix, we got YouTube. I do run my own Plex server, but I'm not gonna show you that. Let's go actually over to the App Store. And they say that they have quite a few different apps. So let's see and just browse a little bit. BritBox, I do enjoy their content. There's all of this, but I guess if we go up, let's see. So there are different categories, recommended channels. I don't have my favorite apps, kids, award-winning apps, new movie channels. So instead of that, let's go back. I'm going to push home again. And the Plex actually offers a lot of streaming channels too. So I can go here, and this will probably also want me to sign in. I'm sorry, this is all very quiet. We'll skip sign up. And then it will offer as one of the choices live TV. So this is one way that I can get to streaming television. I can just go to live TV, and then it will give me a channel guide of streaming channels. And pretty much all of this stuff is free, which is great. So let's try if we can find some sports. So I'll go to sports. And here's NFL, darts, that sounds exciting. Women's soccer, let's watch some of that. See how that looks. And again, this is all internet, free stuff. And you can see it's a beautiful picture. The sound is really good. In fact, let's turn the volume up. Let's see. I think this is the volume. We'll find out. So it's loud enough to fill my space, and we're only at 25 volume out of what looks like 100. So that is fantastic. So again, I'm going to go back to home, and those are pretty much the basics. Let's go on to Netflix again, and I'll just play a couple of seconds of something on Netflix. And let's see, we can try Delightfully Deceitful. And as usual, I can only play a couple of seconds because I don't have the rights to rebroadcast this, but I want you to hear the audio and see how clean this video is. And this is not a fully dark room. This room is actually lit with a bulb or two. It's just the contrast in the camera makes it look like it's pitch dark, but it's not. This is a really nice, bright projector. And that's enough of that. So there we are, back again at the home screen, and I'm gonna stop here with this demo. I'm really impressed. I think they did a really nice job. It's a bright projector, bright enough that you don't need a pitch dark room. And it did autofocus and auto keystoning and everything. So it was just ready to go. You even saw me step through the setup, and that was pretty darn easy. Now, let me jump back on camera. Pretty nice, right? And having Netflix be sort of the centerpiece of its whole operating system turns out to be really nice. I watch a lot of Netflix. I'm right now about halfway through the 3rd season of Squid Game. Almost done, no spoilers. But having it all designed that way makes it really easy to work with. But as you saw, we could easily add third-party apps. There's a lot of apps in their library. And importantly, this is Netflix licensed. So it will work with Netflix without any hiccups or flaws or problems. A lot of the low-budget projectors actually don't work properly with Netflix, and they just have that in a little disclaimer on a footnote. TOPTRO has figured that out. They've talked to Netflix. They've got it all licensed. It is super easy to work with. Now, let me tell you a little bit about all the other pieces that come with it. So first off, this is the entire power cord. I have looked at other video projectors recently that have really big transformers in line, which make them a little less portable. This is super convenient. Comes with that lens cover. It has a nice smart guide, which gives you a lot of information, and more importantly, perhaps, it has a QR code that you can scan that actually gets you an even more detailed version of the manual in a bunch of different languages. I really like that approach where all the basics are included in printed material with the unit, but there's a lot more information online if you need to get more information. Comes with an HDMI to HDMI cable, and probably, well, let's see, I already told you that it comes with a cleaning cloth and some cleaning Q-tips, but the most important thing it comes with is a very sleek remote. And as you can see, the remote gives you a lot of good basic functionality, including shortcuts to Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime Video, and their open browser. I was not very interested in using this as a web browser, so I didn't try that out, but the other stuff works really well. I will warn you that it does require 2 AAA batteries that are not included, so you'll want to make sure you have a couple on hand because you will need the remote control to do the initial setup to get to where you can actually choose content. So it will be really frustrating to pull it out of the box and not have your remote ready to go. So let's see. Let me show you. It is pretty hefty. This is a pretty big device. It is 11.2 inches by 11 inches by 5 inches, and it is a good couple of pounds in weight. So this is not the most portable unit, but I can absolutely imagine that you would set it up somewhere, maybe in your living room or your man cave, or sorry, modern times, your person cave, and then it would just be ready to rock and roll whenever you grabbed the remote and powered it on. So easy enough to work with. There's a lot I really like about what they've done here. And really there's so many upsides. That 1500 lumens is so bright that it was just a pleasure to not have to work in a really dark space to get that demo to be recorded. But it is a large device. I have looked at units that honestly were like the size of 3 remotes, if that, and this is obviously considerably bigger than that. So, upside, really good projector, really good sound system, really easy to work with their own smart TV OS. Kind of wish they had Google TV OS or were running Android or something, but it works entirely well, and it's good enough for what I want, which is to be able to connect from one of the inputs if I'm like plugging it into my computer or something, or if I want to just use a streaming service built in with its own operating system. So not really a negative, just something to know. And then the biggest downside is that it's big and it's heavy and there's no carrying bag or anything. So it's not super portable, but you know, you can get by. You can carry it. You can take it out into the backyard on a nice dry day. You don't want to have one of these things out when it's a really humid day or it's foggy or there's any dew or anything. And obviously if it's raining, oh, absolute disaster. Do not do that. But you can take this outside, project it on the side of your barn or your garage door and tell the neighbors, come on over, we're going to watch a movie. And you don't even need another speaker. This will be plenty enough to drive that whole experience. Wait till just after sunset, maybe supply popcorn for everybody, and you are the most favorite person in the whole neighborhood. You could really do your whole outdoor movie series, and this would do really well for that. It also is going to work really well indoors. So lots of different cases, lots to like here. It's definitely one worth checking out. And again, if you're in the market for an HD video projector with a bright bulb and a really nice variation and range in projector size, this is one to check out. I am going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon for notifications of my new content. And if you found this of value, give me a thumbs up. And if you think I missed something or you really wish I would have added something to the demo, leave it in the comments, because I'm constantly looking at devices and I can just keep refining what I do and how I do it, because I want to be as helpful as possible. Go team, right? This is the TOPTRO X9 outdoor movie projector. It is $499.99, currently discounted 50%, down to a remarkable $250 at Amazon.com. That is a wicked good price for this device, and it's definitely one that you should be looking at pretty closely if you really, even just occasionally, want to just have the flexibility of projecting a really big image and having really nice sound. So imagine this in a hotel room. Oh man, you could just take over a conference room and again be the most popular person at a trade show because you could be showing things with this. It's that good. So that's what I got. Hope to catch you in my next video.